What's poppin', everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be going over 10 different ways, that's right, 10 different ways to make your computer edit faster. This is related solely to hardware issues and not performance issues from yourself. Editing performance from yourself. Dope. My name is Danny Matthews. We're going to go over 10 different ways to make your computer run faster when editing in Adobe Premiere. So coming up with 10 different ones was actually very difficult, but there's 10 different ones. I'm going to start out with the most easy and then most obvious and end with the more less obvious that you may not even know about. So number one, again, these are obvious, but number one is to get more RAM in your computer. If your computer is under 16 gigabytes of RAM, it is going to struggle trying to edit faster in Adobe Premiere. And again, I know these are obvious, but just something I want to go over. Number two, again, this might be something that you don't even realize, but is again obvious thing. If you have a low graphics card, if this has less than 6 gigabytes of graphics card processing, it is not going to be editing well in Adobe Premiere. It is visual based. GPU is very involved in all of the editing. Number three, this goes along with the RAM, but in Adobe Premiere there's a certain setting that you guys may not know about. If you go over to your preferences in the top left and go down to memory, there's a slot where you can dedicate RAM to different applications, as well as how much you want to reserve, whether for Adobe Premiere or other applications in the Adobe suite. Number four, again, this is something else in Adobe Premiere. If you go over here to your media cache under preferences and go ahead and just delete all unused media cache, this is going to make your computer actually run way quicker because you're deleting unused cache files that Adobe doesn't need anymore to make this project run quicker for you. Number five has to go again with media cache. If you want your computer to run faster in Adobe Premiere, what you're gonna have to do is go ahead and select a designated place for media cache, and it needs to have at least 60 gigabytes of folder storage. I like to have about 100 gigabytes because that's my preference, and I like my Premiere to run smooth. But basically allowing for that more space for media caches to stack up, it's not gonna start limiting itself if you start filling up that folder. This goes into number six. What you're gonna wanna do is all of your footage that you're editing in your project, you're either gonna want a really high speed write and read process in your hard drive externally, or edit directly off your hard drive on your computer. If you have SSD, this is gonna go way quicker. And again, this is gonna go with storage, and the reason why you wanna have more storage than less storage, you actually want to have a big buffer between your storage and the max storage. What I mean by that is you have 500 gigs of video and then you have a terabyte of storage. You want to make sure that you're not really pushing past 80% of full storage, otherwise it starts slowing down your computer. And this is an application wide thing. This is not just an Adobe Premiere thing, but again, it goes along with the same thing for media cache. And number seven, I think this is seven, go over to preferences again and go down to memory. Right underneath all that RAM, there is a thing talking about optimize for, and you can either do for memory or performance. The one you want to select, make sure it's performance. If it's on performance, it's going to optimize for performance, obviously. If memory, it's going to make sure to reserve memory and not use as much storage in your computer, which is not what you want to do. Number eight, sorry, I just have no idea which numbers are where. Am I dyslexic? I don't know. This one might seem like another obvious one, but it's really talked about and something that you may want to consider if your computer is slow. Going ahead and making all of your files into proxies. Now, using proxies is very helpful because you're able to breeze through editing and all of that, and you can still live see on Adobe Premiere. The only downside is the actual time to export and create those proxies takes some time. Number nine, I don't know if I said 8 before, but we're on 9. Number 9, now this seems really stupid, but I've tried it on all my computers and it actually works. If you plug in your computer and it is connected to the wall while it's charging, it is actually going to be running faster. Now I know it's hard for you to think about, but the best way I can logically think about this is that it just has constant power. That way all the power that this program is sucking out of your computer is taking directly from the wall. Now again, this is a theory. I'm not exactly sure if that's what's happening, but it does seem to run faster from all the computers I've used it on Mac and on PC. Now again, this is obviously only to laptops because desktops are always going to be plugged in, so you know it doesn't work if you have a desktop. Sorry about that. Now number 10, the final number 10. This is an awesome secret thing in Adobe Premiere that most people don't talk about, but is very helpful if you want to make your editing go faster in Adobe Premiere. There's this cool little toggle button right over here by your program window. Down here, if you click on this plus button, you can actually see this FX button, and it says global mute FX, which is really awesome because what you can do is if you toggle this on, it's actually going to mute all of the effects in your entire project. And it's going to be able to help you live preview and edit faster, and then you can toggle it back on. Now, there is a downside to this. If you have warp stabilizer on any clip and you disable this and then re-enable it, it's going to have you analyze all the clips you put warp stabilizers on. So do be cautious of that when you're using this. But guys, that is 10 different hardware things that you guys can, 10 different hardware to make Adobe Premiere faster. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you guys on that ASAP. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something, go ahead and check out one of these 2 videos, because I promise you're going to learn something from one of those. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.